Here we are. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Grand risings and divine greetings. I am joined here today, oh my goodness, for a very special interview with my amazing sister, Queen Jenny. You live from Austin, Texas. We just went to the Texas Fruit Festival. We are totally in love. And Queen Jenny has been juicing for an amazing 160 days. Today she is 161 days into a juice cleanse. She's been going through an incredible transformation with living foods over the last few years. She's my very special sister and one of my best friends. And we have been going through some incredible changes together, and she has graced us with an interview today, and I'm so happy to have you here today in Austin. This is like a dream come true.
It's a total dream come true. Thank you so much, Aline, for having me and being such wonderful support for me through this whole thing. Such a beautiful, kind friend, and Aline is amazing. If you don't follow her, go follow her and feel some of the beautiful love that she gives out to the world so selflessly all the time. She's just a wonderful, beautiful person.
Well, right back at you. You have been helping me so much on my journey. Queen Jenny is such an important part of my life and our community and Kings and Queens Abroad. She's always so kind, so generous with her sharing her journey and also supporting all of our members. So follow her. So many amazing things have been coming from her activating herself and, empowering herself with living foods, overcoming some major, traumas in her life through the foods, through the living foods, and shining so bright, and uncovering the gifts that have been inside of her for so long, but that she's been a little bit shy to express, right?
Yeah, totally. But I've been feeling so wonderful, and that I just really want to share what I've been doing, and so that it could help other people who may be experiencing some of the things that I've been experiencing.
So tell us a little bit about those things that you've been experiencing. Like, what was your journey like throughout your life? What was your relationship with food before you came to the living foods and before you came to the juicing?
So I learned to comfort myself with food pretty early on. I think that happens to a lot of us. And so I found myself overweight for all of my adult life, but also a lot of my childhood since pretty young. And more recently, so that's something I've always kind of struggled with, and I want everybody to know you're beautiful at every size that you are. And I was beautiful at the size I was before. I was still a beautiful, loving person. But that extra fat was really taking a toll on my body over all the years, And then after I had my daughter in 2020, I started experiencing like some really bad inflammation, like in my elbows, my shoulders. I was like losing my range of motion. My knees and ankles, just all my joints, just terrible inflammation, amongst other things, like some scalp issues. And I wish I had my list, because I literally, when I started juicing, I wanted to see what would improve. So I wrote down anything that was like ailing me, or that I wished, like areas that were a little bit better, for instance, like my eyesight and stuff. And the list just it's hard to think off the top of your head when you're feeling so good now. But before, like, the list just started getting longer and longer and longer. And I realized, like, wow, you actually have a lot of things going on. But I'm happy to say that, like, everything has improved. Any issues that I had before juicing have really gotten a lot better. Like, my elbows don't hurt anymore. I woke up one day and was like, oh, thank you, God. Like, what's going on? My elbows don't hurt. My shoulders are doing better. And I was having a pretty bad neck problem that's actually gotten much better. And very, very low energy. I've had some fibromyalgia and arthritis symptoms for a really long time, but I didn't go get any diagnosis for it. I've just been trying to see what I could do for myself. But just everything has improved since choosing. Mental health has improved. Just being able to chase after my kids is like one of the biggest things for me. I take my kids to the park now, and I used to not be able to let them get very far away from me because I couldn't get to them quick enough if they were to run by the street or something. And now I can let them go because I can run over and get to them like so quick. It's like the biggest blessing. Something just popped up on my Facebook recently, and I kind of feel like it was a little like sign from God, but it was like a memory, and it was from like 2016 or something, so like 6 years ago. And I was at the park, walking because I've been trying to lose weight, my whole life in some capacity. So I was at the park exercising, and a woman just rolled past me so fast. She was running, and she had a double stroller, and she had both her kids in the double stroller, and she was just jogging with them, and she just blew by me, and I'm in my 20s, and I'm like, it was like my late 20s, but I was just like, I want to be like you one day. Like, I'm just in awe of you for, showing your kids a healthy way. And that memory popped up on my thing like just a few days ago. And I just cried a little bit and said, like, that's me now, I am that healthy mom that can chase my kids. And it's a really beautiful thing. That's why I want to share with people so that you can feel like as great as I'm feeling now, I know, it makes me tear up a little bit.
Because it's so easy to beat ourselves up sometimes, and what you did was step out of, I can't do this, to that's going to be me, and you had that as a goal, you had that as an ideal, and you didn't say, oh, but she's doing it, but I can't do that. You knew somewhere inside you that potential was in you as well, and just the same way that you're doing with whoever's watching, you're showing everybody that they too have the potential to do this, it's sometimes we look to others and we say, oh, they got something that I don't have, and we beat ourselves up, and we're like, oh, like, I could never do that, or she's got this and she's got that and she's got, these advantages over me somehow, like, we're so different. But then once you put in your mind and you realize that you are powerful, you can do absolutely anything, and you're showing us that,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I know that you've had some challenges in doing an extended juice cleanse in the past. Like, it's, she's been wanting to do this for a while, but at some point she was like, I'm doing it, I'm ready, my why is big, I got the support I need, let's go with it. And you have been going with it. So you are showing
going all right.
like, yes. And I remember at the beginning when you were like, oh, I'm going to have to go. You knew intuitively you were going to have to go at least 40 days. And that might have seemed scary at the beginning. Like, oh my gosh, what's 40 days on juices? And that's what we all think when we start.
Yeah.
But then you got to 40 days and you're like, I'm going to keep on going. Tell us a little bit about that journey, how you knew you had to keep on going at that point. Because some people are like, why 40 days? Why 90 days? Why 100 days?
Yeah.
What was that like for you, the trusting yourself and continuing?
So I know that intuitively, I think that we know on some level that we need like deep healing. I think that a lot of people do 40 days, and that works really good for them. But I think I knew that a lot of people that are doing 40 days are maybe just trying to kind of reset or cleanse or maybe feel a little bit better. But I had never had this sort of inflammation prior to having my daughter. And so I really knew that somewhere, yeah, deep inside, I knew that it was going to be lengthy. And actually, I knew somewhere subconsciously, I thought anyway, that I was going to have to go 120 days. That was actually my subconscious. And I thought that I would be able to eat before the fruit festival. And as you all know, we're here for the Texas Fruit Festival. It was amazing. It was beautiful and wonderful energy. But you know, in the beginning, yeah, I thought I was thinking like 120 days to help me with everything. But then the 120 days came and went, and I've still got a little more healing to do, and I'm just not quite ready yet. So I'm just listening to my body. And but I'm glad Aline brought up the fact that I've tried to juice before, because I really want everyone to know that it's not like it's not easy, you know, and I know that it's not easy to take the leap. But it's like the ultimate form, juicing is the ultimate form of self-care. Like, this is how you learn to take care of yourself. This is how you learn to remove limits. Like, we have all these self-limiting beliefs, and juicing and raw foods give you this freedom of mind to remove those things and realize the potential that you have, and the love that you have to give. But I wanted to say that, you know, this wasn't my first attempt at a juice cleanse. So if you're like me and you tried to juice cleanse and you couldn't do it, you just couldn't do it at that moment. You know, if it's in your heart and you feel called, try again. Just get back up and dust yourself off, because the most important thing is to keep trying. You know, when we stop trying, we've given up on ourselves. And I don't want anyone out there listening, don't give up on yourself. You are beautiful and loved and necessary, and you have a purpose. And we can't even serve our purpose or help others if we do not extend that same love to ourselves first, especially like, you know, moms, parents, everyone really. But as a mother, I just feel like I started really just taking care of everyone else. And, you know, I would be lucky if I got dressed in the morning some days, you know, and so don't give up on yourself. You're worth it. There's people that love you. And more importantly, you'll find love for yourself on raw food. You'll find that you love yourself and that you deserve to be taken care of too, you know? So I think, you know, I'm just learning to take care of myself and love myself like I do other people. And it's a really powerful thing.
Oh, wow. So beautiful and so inspiring. And I could be, you know, if I could give a testimony to how much you love others, you know, you really do love others. You know, you love your children. I've seen her with her children. I've seen her with her husband, and I've seen her with all her friends. And it's really sometimes like even overwhelming to be like, wow, she is such a kind, you are such a kind woman. And yeah, no, for real, like you're so special. And you know, it's hard. It hurts my heart to see, you know, how much you were in pain, you know, within yourself and harming yourself too. And, you know, the same way you probably felt pain when I was harming myself. It's like, why can't we see how beautiful we are, how loved we are, and give ourselves that love? But you're learning to do that. And so am I, you know, we're learning together to love ourselves and to empower ourselves and also to inspire others, you know. Queen Jenny and I would not be here today if it wasn't for the juice cleanses. I can guarantee you that. There is just something magical that happens when we start to juice, when we start to eat living foods, we open up to the world, we take more risks, we take more chances. Like coming to a Texas Food Festival, for me anyway, like it's very scary, you know, to get on that plane and to come and speak in front of people, to come and meet others that we've never. You were amazing. She's going to speak at one of them. Putting it out there. So yeah, definitely. It's gonna be anyway, it's gonna be a hard yes. We have a story to tell, we have a recovery story, we have a survival story that the world needs to hear. And that's, you know, the only reason I started sharing too, because I'm like, people need to hear about this. People need to know how good we can feel on this lifestyle. So we kind of get out of our own way and we really connect more with our higher purpose and with God, like with our mission, with what he wants for our life. Like this is him guiding us every step of the way. We got to make the juices. We got to take those steps, because we do have free will. But once we feel that calling, once we feel that direction in our life, that's God telling us, like, you got to do this. This is your pathway to uncovering your divine self, uncovering the purpose that I put in your heart for you. And it gets clouded and shadowed, like this shadow that's like playing with me right now. But with all the traumas and the pains that we go through our life, kind of coming and building this wall around our heart. And I feel your heart just like those walls breaking more and more around the heart, and just like opening up and shining your light. And this is only the beginning of how much lives you're going to impact and how many people you're going to inspire, Yeah.
I want to mention too something that Aline said about, harming ourselves, because sometimes people think that it means like to, like, cut or, and it can mean that. It can mean different things. But I want to mention this because sometimes people don't realize they're harming themselves and with their words. So, how you speak to yourself, it really makes so much difference. And, we are made in God's image and his love. And God would, sometimes I think about, things maybe that I tell myself or say myself, like, you shouldn't be doing this, or, you're not doing this well, or whatever. You know, God wouldn't speak that way to us. And we are, in God's image, and we shouldn't speak that way to ourselves either. And also we harm ourselves by, like I mentioned, like comfort eating. That is a form of self-harm too. So whenever I'm super stressed and order like myself 3 meals of takeout, which would not be uncommon to order, like, oh, I think I want lo mein and egg rolls and just like 5 different things off the menu, and then gorge, and then, lay around and think that, I feel, and then just lay around. That is self-harm, because then I'm like swollen the next day from eating all that salt. And so I just wanted to mention that because I think a lot of people don't recognize ways in which we harm ourselves. And a big part of that is how we speak to ourselves. So always speak kindly to yourself, especially in the times when there's a lot of resistance, so if you're feeling like you're having a hard time, and that's like the time when you need to speak the kindest to yourself and go inside more and, pray and meditate and, do some self-care things for yourself. Go take a bath, go light a candle, have some raw living fruits and vegetables. If you can't juice, or you feel like you can't juice, or you're not ready, that's not the place you're at. Exchanging 1 meal a day with juice will make a difference in your life and your inflammation. Exchanging 1 meal a day with a fruit meal will change your life. It will make a difference in the way you feel, the way you move. It reduces inflammation, it increases mental clarity. My heart, when I tell y'all, my heart is functioning so well. I used to get so winded and, have palpitations sometimes. And I would eat a lot of salt and fat. And that also makes your heart beat hard. Unfortunately, heart problems are something that is in my family and something I want to be really careful about. But it's just incredible now that I've been juicing. Like I went from like my knees hurting when I walk to now I go and sprint at the park and, go run, and I jump on my rebounder every day. And, my husband got on board too.
Yeah.
He got inspired and he did 100 days of juice, and it changed. That's how I know too, like, this isn't just me. Anyone can reap the benefits of this. My husband got inspired and did 100 days, and then
Wow.
he's like sprinting, and feeling like the best he's ever felt in his life, he says. So you know, just to think, you know, he went for a little over 3 months at 100 days, and just feels like he's just completely changed his life, you know. It also really helps you when you're dealing with hard things in your life. Like I've had a lot of personal things kind of hit me one after the other, you know. That happens to us all, right? Sometimes when it rains, it pours, they say, but um, juicing and living foods, like I said, if you can't do the juice, just like eating a bowl of fruit or a salad, you would be amazed the wonders that it works for your mental health and your mind and your clarity. Because I mean, I've really had some difficult times lately, and I don't think that I would have been able to, well, I know that I would have been able to handle them as well if I were not feeling so much more balanced than I was before, like making sure that I'm having God's beautiful fruit in my life. It's everything.
Yes. It's like the anxiety, right? It helps heal the nervous system too. What you're saying is like there could be stressful events in your life, but the fruit is helping you cope with them better, be more centered, be more balanced. And I love everything you're saying. And congratulations to King Jeremy, who has been doing this. You know, couples who juice together, stay together. It could like be hard for one of the partners to be going through this, and the other one doesn't really understand, or there has a lot of fear around it. So once they do it, then it's like that is a spiritual journey on its own for a couple, you know. That's really, really powerful.
Yeah. I was about 56 days in, so
Yes.
I did the beginning part, like cooking
By yourself.
for him by myself, and then that's when he was like, you know, got inspired and kind of mentioned like, you know, I'm thinking about juicing, maybe I'll juice. So I just hurried up and went and bought everything and juiced everything for him, and was like, okay, you can start on Monday.
There we
I got
go.
all your juice for you. You might as well go ahead and start. And he did, and it was really good for him too, making some big transitions in his life and career. He was really able to navigate that. He felt like very clearly, so that's really awesome. But the bonding experience when you juice with someone you love is it's profound, because you already have like this just kind of deeper connection to everybody and everything, and like you feel love even deeper. I think that when you strip away all these numbing agents of cooked food and all these things that trigger all these chemicals in us and give us this false sense of happiness and security, you know, when you strip that all away, it's really hard sometimes. That's why it's really important to have a community, but you feel everything on a deeper level, including love. So if you're able to do this with a partner or friend, you know, that you love, it really is a great bonding experience. And it's amazing like what it's done for me and my husband and my family. You know, it's also freed up a lot of time for us. I'm not cooking all the time, so all that time I'm spending with my children. I play with them more. I feel like I have more patience with them, and I think it's just really been beneficial in so many aspects, from like family to spirituality to the physical, the emotional, the mental. Fruit will heal you in so many ways that you didn't even know that you needed healing, you know?
Yeah, we think it's just a physical, you know, sometimes we go into it just thinking, okay, I'm gonna heal my physical body, but then all these other things start happening.
Absolutely. It just ends up being a total transformation. You know, it's not about any one thing.
And you were plant-based before you came into the juice cleanse. I do want to presence this, and maybe we could talk about it a little bit, that Queen Jenny has been plant-based for many years. Tell us how many years before?
I think 8 now.
So
I don't think
8
I
years.
have meat in 8 years, and I'm really glad you brought that up, because
it doesn't mean we're healthy when we're plant-based. You know, it doesn't mean the foods that we're eating, you know, aren't drenched in oil. You know, French fries are vegan.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Coca-Cola is vegan. So it's very important to focus on a whole food, living foods lifestyle. So tell us a little bit about that, what it was like as, you know, I mean, transition foods are good, you know, I will say this, like they've helped me a lot. I mean, I was having a lot of Beyond Meat burgers and pizzas and all that. It's okay, you know, I don't want to like demonize the imitate the you know, the transition foods, but they are that. I see them as transition foods coming off a standard American diet and eating a lot of burgers and things like that. Sometimes we need that comfort to go to the other side. But tell us a little bit the difference between, having a plant-based diet that wasn't so healthy and maybe a little bit more processed foods and things like that versus being with the living foods now.
Yeah. So this is a great thing to bring up. When I went vegan, I'm trying to remember what year it was, but it was quite some time ago. There weren't really all these processed meat options. And actually, when I switched over to vegan, I did unknowingly, because I didn't really know much about it then, to be honest. I went vegan after the World Health Organization came out and said that classified meat as a carcinogen. And I saw a couple documentaries and read a few things, and me and my husband, thought, oh, let's try to transition off of meat. We did eat more whole food, plant-based things at that point because there wasn't a lot of options. And I saw incredible improvements in my health. So plant-based will definitely help you improve and heal things if you can't do like all raw foods. But more and more vegan became more mainstream, and we started to see restaurants, and we started to see people offering burgers that you could get a burger at Burger King, and we kind of fell back into those things that we used to do, being like, we didn't stop at Burger King or any places like that anymore because they didn't have options for vegans at that time. So it sort of transitioned into eating more of the plant mock meats and stuff. And it just, every time I eat now, like the mock meat or something really processed like that, I feel the inflammation come. Those things are still really, really high in fat and oil and sodium, things that are really harsh on my body personally, and can make you retain a lot of water and things. That happens to me. Like I'll retain a lot of water and it'll give me headaches. And also blood pressure. Like if I have a lot of salt and oil, it'll make my blood pressure go up, which is something I learned when I was pregnant. The doctors, my blood pressure would jump up, and it was because every once in a while I would have like a takeout meal, which I thought was pretty healthy because I would get something from the Asian restaurant and it would be like vegetables and rice and stuff, but it was too much like soy sauce and oil and stuff on there, and it would make my blood pressure tick up a little bit. But I just was not feeling good on that cooked food, on that cooked vegan processed food. It's all about the whole living foods. The processed food was just really still hurting me, and I couldn't get the weight off either. So all this weight I've been carrying for so long, people have this idea like you're going to go vegan and you're going to lose all the weight and be so healthy, but you can still eat an unhealthy vegan diet. Like Aline was saying, you can have Coca-Cola and Oreos and be vegan. So if you're looking, and that's okay if that's, what you're trying to do and it's solely about the animals, that's okay. But I do want to say too, for those of you that it's solely about the animals, you are an animal too, and you deserve love too. You are one of God's creations, and you deserve love as well. But just to say, yeah, it just wasn't working for me personally. Like, still an unhealthy weight, and the health problems started kind of creeping back in here and there when I started eating those burgers and sausages and just all the things, the vegan cheesecakes, and I'm in Dallas too, so I mean, one time me and my husband went to the big veggie fest, and we ate vegan brisket, so you can really get like anything, and I'm not saying it didn't taste delicious, but all these things taste delicious, these things that have a lot of chemicals, and that's what they're made to do, to make us want more.
They're still very stimulating,
Very,
very stimulating. Yeah, no, thank you for presenting that and for sharing that experience, because if you're looking to heal something inside of you, if you're looking to overcome, whether it's diabetes or high blood pressure or skin issues, whatever it may be, digestive issues, being 80% living foods is really where you want to focus on being, you know, even if, like I said, yeah, juice cleanse, definitely having more fruits, high fruit lifestyle, low fat is going to heal you, like mind, body, spirit, and take care of all your symptoms. We've had many, you know, people in our kings and queens abroad testify to this. They've healed their skin issues, they've healed their heart too, because it's all related to the acidosis and the inflammation in the body. So cleanse your bowels, get the parasites out, get the mucoid plaque out, get all the old waste out, and you will see your whole life transform. And that's exactly what Queen Jenny is doing. And we have a question coming in, and I was wondering this too, from Queen Danielle. She is saying she is feeling so good on the juices. Or you're saying she's feeling, okay, no, feeling so good on the, let me read it as it is, apologies. Okay, feeling so good on the juices, I would almost be nervous going back to food. What are your thoughts around that? So she's asking her, she's feeling so good on the juices. What are your feelings about going back to eating?
Absolutely. It is a fearful thing. You know, there is a little bit of fear there. But I know that, you know, planning is what makes the difference. So I'm thinking a lot about different things. One thing that has been resonating with me and helping me with that fear is I really see juicing as a tool, you know, a tool to guide you back to the cleaner foods sometimes if you get caught up in the sensations of cooked foods and like processed foods. So I am reassuring myself that if I did slip back toward that path, I do have this beautiful tool that I've learned to use to help, you know, guide me and go really like deep within. So that's what's helping me a lot, is just knowing that, like, okay, if I find that I'm not feeling well or I'm going back in a direction that I don't want to go, I can always come back to juice. You know, it's like this beautiful little tool I have now in my toolbox to help me going forward. But I am still a little nervous. You know, I'm just trying to think deeply and make sure that I'm ready to. So I thought I was going to be ready to break my fast before this. But
she did good. I mean, I don't know. That was hard to resist the food at the Texas Fruit Festival. It was delicious. She did it like a boss.
I'm just so far in now, that's why. But I know I have that tool, and then also I'm thinking about I lost my train of thought. Live videos.
I could touch on the hydration as you gather your thoughts.
Yeah, totally.
But I think what she's saying is super important about the juices, and to continue with the juices as you refeed. A lot of one of the mistakes that people do often is they're not getting the hydration they need. Coming off of a juice cleanse, they're getting so hydrated. So the most important thing is to stay hydrated, to like continue with the juices, to continue like starting your day always. Like this is a practice that I have kept for the rest of, like I'm keeping for the rest of my life. Every day, like I wake up, I'll have water. I don't even drink water right away. Like I dry fast, but then after a certain time, I'll have some water, and then I'll go into the liquids. I'll have a lot of juices. Sometimes I'll have 1 quart, 2 quarts for the rising, you know, until maybe 2 or 3 p.m. You know, now I don't even eat till like the afternoon. Sometimes I'll eat a fruit and things like that, but I think it's really important coming off of a juice cleanse to stay super hydrated, to continue with the juicing practice. This is like going to stay with you forever. And yeah, I mean, I even had like a few weeks of like eating all kinds of stuff, and the juices brought me back. You know, like you said, like we always have this tool in us, you know, whenever we feel like we're coming out of balance, which can happen, you know, even people that have been on this path for many, many years can still decide to have Chinese food for 3 days straight. But then it's like, okay, what do I do? What do I do to find balance? It's like, I'm going to go back to the juice. It's going to go back to the fruit, going to get myself back. And, you know, it was an experience, but, and it can happen. And it's like, can we not be in that beat up? And reaching out to community. Like I have an amazing support community we created together that like, I reach out to them too. I'm like, guys, I need help. I need support. We really do need community. We can't do this on our own. It's really hard. When Queen Jenny, we met each other in another group 2 years ago, we were there supporting each other. So like seeing people's testimonies changed our lives, seeing other people doing it, sharing their poop pictures and sharing their weight loss journey, their transformation was showing us that we could do it too. So community is super important. Yeah. And if you have any questions, to ask her, she's super, right? Is that okay to say?
That's okay. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing a YouTube channel because I've had a lot of people reaching out, and I really want to get back to you all, but I'm having a little bit of trouble, juggling everything because my top priority is my kids. But you jogged my memory too about fears around refeeding again. I was wanting to say that I've been planning. And because I don't know, like, I don't know when I'm going to be ready to break. I don't have some specific day in my head, but because I'm not sure, I'm not, right? It must not be time, right? If I'm not sure and I don't know. So I'm following my intuition on that. But my intuition has been telling me that it's nearing an end. And so I have been planning, like considering different ideas, like something you actually mentioned that I've been considering, like, what do I want, eating to look like for me after this? Where do I want to be? What do I see myself eating, when I come off of this fast? And I've been thinking about, juice all day and maybe like a big salad for dinner. I've thought about like fruit and juice during the day and a nice salad for dinner. I've thought about high raw and having like, just make sure I eat all raw foods till dinner time. And then if I want to have some whole food cooked, like a steamed sweet potato with my salad, or, something, some potatoes cooked and sprinkled on top of my salad, or some like vegetable soup or something like that, so there is some fear surrounding it, but my husband has been such a wonderful encouragement in this department because he's like, you got this. Like, look what you're doing right now. I mean, you can do anything now. And that's really made me feel, strong. So to what Aline is saying too, like to have someone, a loved one, or, come to our community. We're so loving there. And we just make sure to encourage each other and lift each other up. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful space. So if you need help, definitely, come there, because even if I can't always answer a DM, I can, there's lots of us in that group that, help each other all the time, and it's easier to be in a community where, everybody can give when they can give, because we all have times when we can't and we have to fill our own cup. So it's really beautiful to be in these types of groups where when you're down, one of your friends can really help uplift you, and then you have the ability to do that back. And that act of service really brings like so much gratitude and love and purpose and fulfillment to help others. And I think too, on the living foods, like you feel that in a different way. You feel like God's love for you and his intention for you, and that you would like, well, for me, I feel his love and his intention for me, and I feel guided to be of service to others, but until we like take care of ourselves and we start to fill our own cup and love ourselves, then we may not have the motivation to try to help others or serve others or do for others, because we don't have anything to give. And then when we fill our own cup, which people say that all the time, but sometimes we really just don't realize, like, now that I'm literally filling my own cup with juice and love and kindness to myself and just all the things, like now I have this extra energy and this extra love to be able to help and serve other people. So that's another beautiful thing that comes from eating God's food.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you said so many important things. It's so important to fill our own cup. We have to come from that overflow. If not, we get depleted, we get depressed, we get tired, we are impatient. And I speak for myself when I say this. If I don't not taking care of myself, like you said, it's hard. And when we're in pain, when we're in chronic pain, when we are feeling like physically not well, how can we be well for others? How can we like, give to others? So it's really
Yes.
important to, when we heal ourselves, we heal the whole, we heal the world. And somebody said this yesterday in the Texas Fruit Festival, but we really do it for everybody around us too. Like if you are a loving individual, if you really do care about people, care for yourself, and you will be able to care for others that much more. You'll be able to be so much more present, so much more involved, and able to support them, and also be happy for others, for like others that are succeeding. If sometimes we have a lot of people in our life that could express like jealousy towards us, or contempt, or things like that, but it's like a lot of the time it's because they're not well in their life. But then you start being well, and then you start being a lot happier for others and their transformation, because you're going through it too, and you want to support them. So thank you so much for saying that. The goal may be for some to be like 100% raw. And for sure, like I had that obsession for many years of like, I need to be this way and I'm never gonna sway and all that. But I think it's good and healthy to have that, a little bit of flexibility within ourselves to say, like, I think personally, like now and before too, in my transition, like having a little bit of steamed broccoli is the way to avoiding a binge on something else down the line. Like if we allow ourselves to have that sweet potato, to have that, little piece of cooked veggies, it may mean that you're not gonna have, not you, but like me, like the bag of chips down the line, or something like that. So sometimes we do need that transition phase, and that could be like forever. A lot of people live with a little bit of steamed or cooked veggies and still like mostly living foods. I think that is super, super healthy, and you're gonna get so much healing with that. If you feel you need to go like 100% raw for a period, that's okay, and then maybe reintroduce them or not. But I'm like seeing how dogmatic we can be sometimes with diets, and it's not about being dogmatic. It's about listening to yourself, honoring yourself, and truly being of service to your highest self, and also your inner child. Like I'm realizing like our inner child needs to play sometimes. It needs to have some fun. It needs to have certain comforts that is okay to have,
And less structure. Sometimes as kids,
mhm.
things so structured, your inner child might need a little less structure around your food, a little more flexibility.
Yes, definitely. And when we think of the amount of years it took us to get to here, to this, state of degeneration, it's going to take a few years to regenerate. It's going to take a few years to overcome those addictions. Many of us in the festival yesterday spoke about taking years to transition to this lifestyle, 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's very rare that it happens overnight. It takes a lot of time. So you're doing it. You're so brave. You're so beautiful. You're so kind. You're everything. What else can we, let's see how much time? Okay, we have about 10 more minutes. We're going to ecstatic dance after this. We've been having such an amazing time. And take a moment to thank Queen Tiffany as well for organizing the Texas Food Festival for us and inviting us here. Like her transformation too came from a 100-day juice cleanse.
Yes,
So
Tiffany's amazing.
yeah, so amazing. And she's gathered us all in the name of fruit from her own incredible awakening. This is her gift to life, gift to the world, to bring us together, to appreciate these fruits. And she has such a passion for them because it's changed her life too. So this is the kind of thing that we don't necessarily plan for when we juice cleanse, but hey, you might write a book, you might, make a documentary, you may, like, who knows, the sky is the limit once you activate yourself. It's like a switch, it's like a click, like you have it in you, the potential is there, but you gotta like turn it on, you gotta switch it on.
It opens up these creative channels too.
Mhm.
It's because you're removing the limits you had put on yourself. We have all these self-imposed limits thinking, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Actually, I want to mention this. My husband and we've been running, I mentioned that, but there's a really big hill by our house, and I pushed the double stroller with my 2 and 4-year-old. That's what I've been running with, that stroller. So there's this really big hill, and I usually have the stroller, but my husband took the stroller, and I was like, I'm going to try to run up that hill. And I got probably like 2/3 of the way up the hill and my legs started cramping up. And I was like, I can't do this. And then I hear my husband behind me and he's coming up with a stroller and he's pushing the stroller behind me. He's like, yes, you can. You're almost there. Look, you're already up the hill. And he's telling me, come on, you can do it, you know? And I did it. So, you know, I was limiting myself. I put this limit on myself to say that I can't do that. That goes back to speaking to like what you say to yourself. You know, be careful what you speak to yourself. If my husband wouldn't have been there to counteract what I told myself, maybe I would have stopped and not gone as far as I could go. But you can go the distance. I want you all to know that you can go the distance. You definitely can with like really good friends, some beautiful fruit, and some love for yourself and support. You are so worthy, you know, of the love you give others. So really, it's the ultimate form of self-care to feed yourself the fruits that God meant for us. Even if you can't do like all raw, like we're talking about, that's okay. Just see what you can do. Like add a piece of fruit in every day, you know. It's not going to hurt you. Just don't believe the hype. Fruit is not going to hurt you. Okay. A lot of us are saying like, oh, it's too much sugar in fruit, but then we'll turn around and like eat
Kit Kat
Chips
bar.
Ahoy or something. Like it doesn't make sense to do that all or nothing type thing because we are imperfectly perfect. Like you're just wonderful and beautiful just the way you are, you know. So
Thank you. Yes, like yeah, definitely going back to nature, going back to our roots. And we get rewarded for that. You know, there are rewards that come from that. Definitely from honoring what we are meant to be consuming. Oh, I wanted to mention them about the critic, Queen Alba. She's catching my critic all the time. Like now that we're meeting like live, I'll say like I'm so hard on myself, you know, and it's like sometimes we need somebody just like your husband did for you to catch you and being like, no, you know, this is not no like this. Like she doesn't do this to me, but she's like, you're your critic, you know. And I was like after the talk, I was like, oh, I could have done this and I could have done that, and like very should have, and it's just making me realize how I'm still a lot in in the self beat up. So thank you, Queen Alba, for helping me see the limitations I put on myself and how I still need to give myself, you know, more love and more compassion. And really, like, you know, she always said like we wouldn't talk to a child this way, we would never talk to a toddler this way that we talk to ourselves. So it's helping me a lot, and you're helping me too in so many ways to love myself and to just be natural, to be authentic, and like make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes, and to try and to never give up, you know, never give up. That's the message that I hope to give to other people too, is like just never give up, no matter how hard it is, no matter how many times it takes you to get there. Just keep doing it, keep stretching yourself, don't push yourself. Stretch, that's another Queen Alva word. Stretch yourself to a little bit more. If you could walk to the corner there, like walk to the corner, and then maybe the next day like stretch a little bit more and walk a little bit further, but like never give up on yourself. And yes, support is important. Our Kings and Queens of Raw community is on Facebook. Queen Jenny is in there. So yeah, if you have any questions for us, like the community is so important because like you get so many different experiences. You know, you're not just asking one individual. Group coaching is the best kind of coaching. Like it's so many people have done juice cleanses this way, have transitioned to a plant-based lifestyle through having the support of a community. So join our community. Stay tuned for Queen Jenny's YouTube channel. It's in the universe, it's happening.
It's coming, I'm manifesting.
And her future public speaking talks, engagements that are coming up. They're lining up as we speak. That's how I felt yesterday. I was like, oh God, I'm like that meme. I just disappeared into the bushes. We just show up, you know. I was shaking in my pants yesterday, and it was so awkward. And it was nothing like doing videos, which I was super awkward at the beginning too. But we overcome, and I hope that people get inspired by, you know, both of our journeys of being a little bit shy, being a little bit like, introverted, but like hey, this is what the world needs of us right now. Like you said,
Yeah.
people need to hear this. People need to hear your message. And that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters is showing up and saying yes to, sharing with the world in whichever way and being of service in that way. So thank you for leading the way and for showing us what it means to heal, to be brave. And it has not been easy. I know we have a couple minutes just to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you've overcome on this juice cleanse before we wrap up.
Some of the challenges. That's kind of hard because honestly, it's really pretty challenging. I want to be honest. Well, I know one thing I can help that might be helpful. One of the challenges I went through. So, in the beginning, you have a lot of cravings. Like in the first couple weeks, I find that that's the hardest. I had this kind of limit on myself before. Aline knows that it was like I couldn't get past 10 days of juice, and something I did to really help myself, there was several things. There's lots of things you can do, but the main thing I want to tell you is those first couple weeks, it's okay to distract yourself. It's okay to be tired and lay around and watch TV. It's okay to just take it easy. And one of the big things for me was just distracting myself. So at first, it might be like a binge on TV, honestly. Like I had never watched
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton, Downton Abbey. I started in the evening time, like there was a certain time where because I was still cooking for everyone else, and that can be really difficult. So I would shut down the kitchen at a certain time. And actually something Tanny Ross says I kind of adopted, which was she says, don't look at it as a negative thing because she stops eating, I think after 7, so that she can give her digestion a rest because we should not be like eating and laying right down on it because then you're digesting and not sleeping. But she would say, the kitchen is closed, but the tea bar is open. That's what she says. After 7, the kitchen is closed, but the tea bar is open. So it's not a negative thing. Like instead of saying to yourself, like, oh, I can't have anything to eat in the kitchen, you could say, oh, I could go down to the kitchen and have a tea, and that's a nice thing. And there's different flavors, and that can be a nice sort of relaxing thing that you can do. And then, like I said, distract yourself with TV. But another thing that I would do is distract myself with my kids, and go play. Like maybe I'm having a really hard time, then I'm gonna go just love on my kids some more and love on myself. Like loving on them gives me that return as well. And did I say sunbathing and like putting my feet to the earth and meditation, listening to some healing sounds? Those were all really good things that helped me. I just had something pop up that's so unrelated to this though that I kind of wanted to mention when you were talking about the steamed food with dinner. When Aline was talking about, the dogmatic sort of way sometimes we are with the raw foods, or like you should eat this way or you should eat that way. Something I was thinking about too is that I wanted to mention, like, if you're healing, you're healing something, that's low fat is really going to help you heal fast and like more fruit. But something for myself too is like when I transition back to eating, part of the reason I want to have some, or I don't even know if I'm going to want to have it, but I am free to allow myself to have like, some cooked foods here and there, like I mentioned. But something that really resonates with me personally, and if you're on a healing journey, about the low fat, which by the way, you don't need to eat low fat forever, in my opinion. Like once you get to feeling better, then you should be, eating your nuts and seeds and your avocados and your good fats, in moderation, like everything. But sometimes there's also this other kind of side of the table that I've sort of mentioned to Aline before, but she was talking about how good steamed broccoli, went down. And like steamed broccoli, yes, it's cooked. Yeah, maybe a little bit of the nutrients has gone down and everything in it. But to be honest, for me personally, it would be better for me to eat a small bowl of steamed broccoli with my food then eat like a large slice of raw cheesecake. I used to make, like, sometimes when I tried to eat raw for a while, I would make myself some treats to help me kind of stay on board. And one of the treats I would make was raw cheesecake. And they're beautiful, y'all. There's nothing wrong with eating that too. We shouldn't be shaming anything or saying like,
Yeah.
it's just completely out. But I'm just trying to say that, this calorie dense broccoli that's like low fat and steamed and is going to digest really easily for me.
Mhm.
The big slice of cashew cheesecake with a nut crust that's like all fat,
So heavy.
that's very heavy, and that's gonna make my tummy hurt a bit. And also it's not that great for healing.
Mhm.
So don't think that you have to do, you have to follow someone's exact protocol for your food or your life.
Yeah.
Make your own protocol. What I've
Got
done
it.
is I've looked at all the different things that people do and then take what resonates for me. So if you want to drink more fruit juice on your fast, drink more fruit juice. You want to drink more green juice, listen to your body. And because none of our bodies are the same. Yes, we were all made in his image, but we are all our bodies are different, and they need certain things to an extent, but we all need different things too because we've had different experiences and different health issues. And so, I say listen to your body and trust in your body. And if you're eating fruit, like you're never gonna eat fruit and your body's gonna say like, oh, that didn't feel good, I don't think I should be eating that anymore. So I would just say, like, try to get some fruit in, as much as you can. And
As long as you don't put them on top of nuts. It might feel terrible if you eat the cashew cheese. And then that's another thing too, is like food combining. We could talk about that another time, but sometimes
whole
like
nother video.
if we, have the nuts and the heavy denser food, and then we put like a watermelon over that, that might feel bad, but it's only because the fruit is like not really having the space to go down and digest. So be mindful of that. But other than that, fruit will only expose what needs to be healed. So if you do meet a little healing crisis or feel a certain way, or have to go to the bathroom more, like it's doing its thing, and keep leaning into them because they will heal you.
Yeah, and it's so detoxing too. I do want to mention, like, I always say juicing is a roller coaster. So if anybody's thinking about doing it and you start doing it and you get to a point where you're cranky and you're irritable and you're feeling like you shouldn't be doing it anymore, keep going, because that means that actually you should be doing it, and that something like God's food is trying to help you work through something in your body and alleviate some sort of pain or something that's going on underneath. For sure.
Or even an emotional detox, you might find yourself wanting to cry, you might find yourself feeling angry or feeling certain emotions that you didn't even know were there. So that's also part of this process that's been, it's been pushed down. So once we can't numb ourselves, once we're not numbing ourselves with the food and the crunching and all that, there's a lot that comes up. So come into our community, come, get a little bit more intimate with Queen Jenny and I, and all of our kings and queens. We're all here for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been like so special, and I can't wait to see you again. I already don't want to leave. I know.
I'm gonna put her in my bag and bring her.
It's been really special to me. This is the first time we meet live in the flesh for the Texas Fruit Festival, and this will not be the last time for sure.
No, Aline is an angel, if any of you don't know. And this is our first time meeting in the flesh, in this life, but we've got such a deep connection. I want to say it's like a deep connection with me and Aline, but I feel like Aline is such a giving person that a lot of people have so many deep connections with her because she is able to just kind of like come outside of herself and give so much and help so many people. Like, I really feel like I wouldn't have been able to juice cleanse as long if I had not found someone to help me through, the tough times, and, always answer my messages and love on me when I needed it. So sweet. It's a beautiful thing. So
thank you. I receive.
Yes. Girl, that's growth, right?
Thank you. I receive. Queen Ella made me realize yesterday how uncomfortable I was with compliments. I was swaying. I was like, oh my God, this is too much.
She told me, like, let me think. She told me something so beautiful to tell myself, and I can't remember what it was. I am working on receiving gracefully. That's what she said. And I thought
Wow,
like that was
thank
so profound. Shout out to Sade. I miss you
Queen-
already.
Queen Sade, hey, we met too yesterday for the first time. That was so special. It was surreal to meet King Matt, Queen Sade. Oh my goodness.
It was
Queen
an
Jenny.
explosion of energy in Austin, Texas yesterday. I wish I could have been like an aerial view looking down to be able to see the energy that was coming from us at the Texas Fruit Festival, because
I know.
we were just eating our fruit and dancing and testifying and hearing each other's testimonies. And it was just incredible to feel the light from people who have healed themselves with living food. When you meet someone who has healed themselves with living food, you feel the energy emitting off of them and the love, you know, it's like I said, it's like we numb down life with these low vibration food and relationships and different things. But when you strip those things away, you know, like so many of us have been doing that, gathered together, the energy and the love that you're able to emit when you scrape off those layers of gunk that's holding you back. It's incredible. One time a year for the Texas Fruit Festival is not enough.
Not enough. We need to do this more often.
Yes, we were saying yesterday, like at least 2 times a year, but Tiffany was really busting her
She worked so
but that she was like cleaning up and stuff, and we were like, well, maybe we should ask her later because she's working so hard.
We'll give her a couple of days to recuperate.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Maybe in Belize we'll do one too. I would love to do that there. We do it all over the world. Yeah, that's the next step. But this was so special, and I'm so happy you came. You know, with your
Me
family, and
God bless.
we're part of it. We really appreciated your presence and your light.
I love you. I'm so
I
happy I
love
was
you
able to
too.
come.
I love you too.
It's been just a life-changing experience. So if you ever are able to attend the Texas Fruit Festival, I highly encourage it, because there is just so much love just emanating everywhere that it will really lift you up to a higher place and bring you like inspiration and motivation and encouragement to like live your best life for real.
Yeah, Queen Nicole says one time a year in Belize. Heck yeah, we'll do it. Yeah,
I can't wait till we have like a network of, you know, healing communities where we're eating fruit like all over the place, and we can just come visit each other. It would be so beautiful.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, we are the holistic health avengers. That's what King Matt calls us.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Like we're superheroes, you know, like spreading fruit and the message of love.
Oh my gosh, you're giving me some ideas. I'm gonna paint us up in some little fruit outfit.
Yeah, I was like, we need some outfits. That was the first thing I said. I was like, I need an outfit.
Go home and design some superhero outfits.
Yes.
No
Leading
cape
the
though. Have you
way.
ever seen what was that little cartoon of The Incredibles? And their cape would always get caught. No capes, but yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
gonna design
yes,
us
I think they said cake, and I was like, there's cake in there. Like cake.
Oh.
Definite. Oh, well, thank you so much. We are off to dance. We're going to ecstatic dance, the whole awesome experience. I'm very excited about that. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us today, whether live on Facebook or on YouTube or on the replay. We love you so much, and we will see you soon.
Love you all.
Bye.
Have a beautiful day.
Yeah.